Are your legs getting weaker, even though you haven't changed anything in your daily routine? Do you feel like your steps are shorter, your balance is less steady, or climbing stairs takes more energy than it used to? If so, you're not alone. After 60, leg weakness becomes one of the most silent and dangerous signs of aging. And the worst part is, most people don't realize it until it begins to steal their independence. I'm Dr. James, and in this video, I'll walk you through the 5 real reasons why your legs may be losing strength and what you can do right now to stop it. You won't need medication or gym equipment, just a better understanding of how your muscles, nerves, and blood flow are all connected. And stay with me until the end, because I'll share one hidden cause of leg weakness that hardly anyone talks about, but it could completely change the way you walk, sleep, and live. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the positive energy. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now, let's get started. Reason number 1, losing muscle without realizing it. Most people think leg weakness after 60 is just a part of aging, but the real culprit is something more silent and more dangerous. It's called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that begins as early as age 30 and accelerates rapidly after 60. You don't feel it right away. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't swell, it just steals strength quietly, year after year. When you walk, your muscles are what lift your knees, push your feet, and keep your balance. But with less muscle, your steps get shorter, your stride gets slower, and eventually even standing up from a chair becomes harder. Sarcopenia doesn't just make you weaker, it puts your entire body at risk. It increases your chances of falling, delays your recovery from illness, and makes everyday movements feel like uphill battles. Worse, your metabolism slows down your body, stores more fat, especially around the waist, and your energy fades, not because of laziness, but because your body is simply carrying less engine. Muscle is your engine, and without enough of it, the fire dims quietly. I remember a man named Robert. He was 71 and came to me complaining that he felt sluggish. He wasn't in pain, he wasn't sick. He just didn't feel steady anymore. He said walking to the mailbox used to be nothing, but now he'd come back winded and a little shaken. I asked him about his habits. No exercise for years. Meals were mostly soft, easy things. Toast soup, a little pasta. Nothing that fed the muscle. I did a quick grip strength test, and his results were far below average for his age. But Robert didn't look frail on the outside. He had no idea he was slowly wasting muscle from the inside. We put him on a simple routine, just 5 minutes a day of leg raises and sit to stand from a chair, plus adding protein like eggs, tuna, and lentils to his meals. 2 weeks later, he already felt stronger and more confident on his feet. 4 weeks later, he told me something I'll never forget. He said, "I thought I was just getting old, but I was actually disappearing." The good news is, sarcopenia can be slowed and even reversed. You don't need heavy weights or a gym. All you need is intention. Walk a little more, stand up without using your hands, add a few gentle squats or wall sits to your morning routine, and most importantly, eat for your muscles. Add protein to every meal. Lean meat, beans, eggs, and Greek yogurt help rebuild what time has taken. Your legs aren't giving up on you. They're asking you to remember them. Because strength isn't youth. It's a signal that you still want to move forward in life. Reason number 2, poor circulation is starving your legs. You might think your legs are weak because your muscles are fading, but sometimes it's not the muscles that are the problem. It's the blood that feeds them. As we age, our blood vessels become stiffer, narrower, and less responsive, especially in the lower half of the body. This condition is often called peripheral artery disease, or poor circulation, and it's more common than most people realize. If your legs are not getting enough oxygen and nutrients, your muscles can't work properly. They fatigue faster, they recover slower, and they start shrinking over time. That's why walking even short distances can leave you winded and tight. You may feel numbness, tingling cold feet or pain that shows up only when you walk and goes away when you rest. That's not just age. That's your blood trying to get through narrowed vessels and failing. I once treated a woman named Shirley. She was 76 and had been active most of her life. But lately, she noticed her legs felt heavy, like walking through water. She said every time she went to the store, her calves would cramp halfway down the aisle. But once she sat down, the pain vanished. At first, she thought it was arthritis or nerve pain, but the real issue was circulation. We did a simple test checking the pulse in her ankles, and it was faint, almost missing. Her arteries were narrowing with age and cholesterol buildup. We didn't need surgery. We just needed a plan. I told her to start walking again, but in intervals, walk for 5 minutes, rest for 1, then walk again. This teaches the vessels to open up and grow new branches like back roads around a traffic jam. I also suggested warm foot soaks at night, more leafy greens, and less salt. Within 3 weeks, Shirley's pain was cut in half, and she looked lighter, like her legs were finally on her side again. Your legs depend on healthy blood flow to survive and stay strong. Poor circulation doesn't always scream. It whispers through fatigue and tightness, and sometimes you won't notice it until you're already avoiding stairs, avoiding walks, avoiding life. But you can change it. Walk daily, even if it's just 5 minutes. Keep your feet warm and your heart active. Eat foods that support circulation. Spinach, beets, berries, olive oil, and cut back on heavy fried salty meals that thicken the blood. Your legs are not quitting. They're calling for movement, for warmth, for attention. And when you listen, blood flows, life returns, and every step becomes a way to come back to yourself. Reason number 3. Nerve damage is disconnecting your brain from your feet. Sometimes your legs feel weak, not because they've lost strength, but because they've lost connection. The muscles are still there, but the messages from your brain are no longer getting through clearly. This is called peripheral neuropathy, and it becomes more common as we age, especially in people with diabetes, prediabetes, or a history of alcohol use. It begins quietly with tingling numbness or a burning sensation in the feet. Some people say it feels like walking on foam or like their toes are wrapped in cotton. Others feel nothing at all, just a loss of awareness and stability. That's when falls start to happen. You look steady. You think you're standing straight. But your brain and your feet are no longer speaking the same language. I remember a man named Daniel, 73 years old, proud and independent. He came in after a fall that left him with a fractured wrist. He didn't trip on anything. There was no obstacle. He simply lost his balance, walking through his kitchen. He said his feet didn't feel the floor anymore. I asked about his health history, and sure enough, he had mild type 2 diabetes and rarely checked his blood sugar. He also drank 2 glasses of wine every night and often skipped dinner. I explained how elevated blood sugar and alcohol both damage the nerves over time, how vitamin B12 deficiency made it worse, and how the loss of sensation in his feet was making his legs weaker. Not because of muscle loss, but because of lost feedback. We started small daily foot massage, walking barefoot on a soft mat to retrain his awareness, adding egg, spinach, and low-sugar meals. Within a month, he said, "I can feel my toes again." And he hadn't fallen since your nerves are like garden hoses, carrying signals from your brain down to your legs. If those hoses become kinked, twisted, or brittle, the message never gets through. So your legs don't push as hard, don't balance as well, don't catch you when you stumble. But the nervous system can heal with time and care. Touch your feet daily. Massage them gently. Eat foods rich in B12, like fish eggs, dairy, and greens. Control your blood sugar and reduce alcohol if you drink, because your body still wants to connect. You're not broken, you're just unplugged. And all it takes is a little awareness to start rewiring that connection again. Reason number 4. Your spine is stealing power from your legs. Not all leg weakness starts in the legs. Sometimes it begins higher up in your spine, especially in the lower back, where nerves exit and travel down to your hips. knees and feet. As we age, the spine compresses, discs lose height, vertebrae shift out of alignment, and sometimes bone spurs press on the spinal cord or the nerve roots. This pressure affects how your legs move, feel, and respond. You might notice pain that travels from your lower back down one leg, a deep ache that flares up when standing too long or walking too far. Or it might not be painful at all, just a strange weakness, a leg that feels like it doesn't belong to you. This is often caused by spinal stenosis or degenerative disc disease conditions that don't always show up clearly until the nerves are already irritated. I once treated a woman named Maria, 68 years old, full of life, but increasingly frustrated by one leg that felt slower than the other. She said, "I can walk, but it's like one leg hesitates. I don't trust it anymore." At first she blamed her knee, then her shoes, then her age. But an MRI revealed mild spinal stenosis, narrowing of the canal in her lower back, pressing on the nerves that feed the left leg. We didn't need surgery. We needed alignment. We started with posture awareness, teaching her how to sit, stand and lie down in ways that reduce pressure on the spine. I gave her a simple daily routine, lying flat with her knees bent, resting her legs on a chair, and doing gentle pelvic tilts. It looked like nothing, but within 2 weeks she reported more balance and strength in both legs. She smiled and said, "I feel like I'm standing in my body again, not just on top of it. Your spine is the power line of your lower body. If that line is pinched, bent, or overloaded, everything below it suffers, especially your legs. So pay attention to back stiffness, to pain that shoots down one side, or to numbness that starts at the hip and moves down. Stretch daily with intention. Avoid slumping in chairs or couches. Strengthen your core, not for abs, but for alignment. And if sitting or walking triggers symptoms, try using support pillows or adjusting your posture. Your legs may not be failing. They may be waiting for the signal to return. Give your spine the space to breathe, and your legs will follow with strength." Reason number 5. Your body is running low on the minerals that make muscles move. Sometimes your legs aren't weak from age or injury or even inactivity. They're weak because the very minerals that keep them working have quietly disappeared from your system. Electrolytes like potassium, magnesium, and calcium are essential for muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and fluid balance. Without them, your legs can cramp, twitch, feel heavy, or give out without warning. These minerals don't just disappear overnight. They decline slowly through sweat medication, poor diet, and dehydration. After 60, your body becomes less efficient at absorbing and storing them, especially if you take diuretics for blood pressure or avoid fruits and vegetables because of chewing issues. You might wake up in the middle of the night with your calf clenched like stone, or feel a strange shiver in your thigh during a walk. That's not just fatigue. That's your body calling out for support. I once met a retired teacher named Glenn. He was 75, healthy overall, but frustrated with unpredictable leg cramps at night. He said they felt like lightning bolts, sudden and sharp, and always left his muscles sore the next day. He drank water all day, ate fairly well, and still the cramps came. I asked about his medications. He was on a common blood pressure pill that also flushed potassium. I asked about his meals and learned he avoided fruit because of dentures and rarely ate nuts or seeds. I ran a basic blood test, and sure enough, his potassium and magnesium were both at the low end of normal. We started small. Half a banana with breakfast spinach in his eggs, a handful of almonds before bed. We switched his water to include a pinch of sea salt and lemon to help his body absorb minerals better. 2 weeks later, the cramps had almost vanished, and he said the most powerful thing I didn't know, I was missing something so small that made me feel strong again. Minerals are like keys that unlock muscle movement. Without them, your muscles can't fire properly. Your nerves misfire, and even your heartbeat can change. So pay attention to the signs. Cramps, twitches, leg. Heaviness, low energy. Add potassium-rich foods like bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes. Add magnesium from dark chocolate, leafy greens, beans, and seeds. Drink water that hydrates, not just quenches with a touch of minerals, not just plain liquid. And if you take medication, ask your doctor if it affects electrolyte levels, because even the cleanest diet can't help if the body is leaking more than it's keeping. Your legs are still strong underneath, but without the right fuel, even the best engine can't run. Refill your tank and feel the ground under your feet come alive again. Thank you for joining me today on this journey to stronger legs and better aging. We've uncovered 5 often ignored reasons why your legs may be getting weaker, and most importantly, what you can start doing right now to bring strength back into your steps. You don't need to feel powerless or fragile. You just need the right awareness and small daily actions. Which of these reasons spoke to you the most? Was there something new you learned today? Please leave a comment and share one thing you're going to try or change starting tonight. Your words might encourage someone else who's quietly watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps me continue creating messages that bring healing and strength to people who need it most. I'll see you in the next video.